What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we got a 17 L5P here behind me, and we're going to start off the video by doing some diagnostic work to this thing. I want to go over everything that I believe is wrong with it, and we're going to go ahead and try to fix it. Now, I've made videos like this in the past, multiple videdos on this topic, but I still get asked this question daily, and I just want to keep addressing it because I'm still seeing people spend stupid money every single week buying useless parts that they don't need to fix this problem. So, this truck is shaking at idle. Now, I know right out the rip, 99% of you are going to be like, oh, it's an injector pigtail, and you'll probably be right because I think it's the same exact thing. I think the pigtail is bad on this truck. Now, the only odd part is with this, truck was running perfectly fine. It's got like 110,000 miles on it, but he just got the front end all aligned, and he got a new front end on it. Then right after he left the shop, like, he said right when he picked it up from the shop, he didn't even drive it any, it was shaking and was doing all this stuff. So I'm a big believer in cause and effect, that maybe something got messed up from them, but it could just be a freak thing that, you know, you never know when this type of stuff's gonna happen, and it happens. So to start the video off, I'm gonna pull the truck outside. I'm gonna read the codes at first. Now it's misfiring, I have no idea where to start. The first thing you always wanna do is read the codes. So we're gonna read the codes to give us a starting point and see exactly, you know, where to start, what to look at, and etc. So let's back it out. We'll get it started up. We'll hook up my code reader through HP Tuners. We'll read it out, and I'll try to show you guys a little bit on video exactly how it's misfiring. It might be a little hard to pick it up, but we'll go from there. Before we touch anything and go into depth a little bit deeper, I want to start the truck up and show you guys exactly what it's doing. Alrighty, let's go. So I don't know if you can hear that in the video. That distinct, you know, sounds like it's misfiring. Hood open, we got engine power is reduced, and for every reason the fuel gauge is not working. The truck has 101,000 miles on it. So really at this mileage, you're due for stuff like this, especially the pigtails. But we're 100% bone stock. But let's hook up to the computer. You can actually kind of see the engine shaking a decent bit in the video. Really doesn't shake that much. But I don't know if you can pick that up or not. But let's get inside, hook up, and we'll see exactly what codes we're throwing, and we'll go from there on it. Hopefully it's an easy one to get at, but that's never the case. So we'll see right here in a second. So we're in HP Tuners now. We're in VCM Scanner. Let's read these codes and see what we come up with. So, cylinder 8 misfire detected, misfire, cylinder 8 injector circuit. Yeah, basically we should start with injector 8 pigtail, cylinder 6 glow plug. Let's clear these and you see what comes back. So, cylinder 8 really. They're kind of permanent now, but yep, still shaking pretty bad, but let's get this inside, and we'll start by replacing the pigtail on the injector. We'll start with the easiest thing first, and we'll go from there. Hopefully it's not the injector. I have yet to see a bad L5P injector, honestly. It's 99% of the time the pigtail. I don't think I've ever told someone it's the pigtail, and it ends up to be the injector. So let's get to replacing this pigtail, and we'll see if that takes care of all our problems. Alright, so I just read the codes one more time before I move the truck, and as you can see, pending again the cylinder 6 glow plug, so we'll throw one of those in there while we're in there, and it looks like injector number 8 misfire, which of course number 8 is on the driver's side, which in this case, being stock, it's kind of easier to work on, but of course it's the one all the way in the back, which is kind of a harder one maybe, but we'll see when we get into it. Now that we got it pulled in, we're going to start with a couple things. One, first thing that you want to do is disconnect the batteries. Now, you probably don't have to, but in my mind, it takes literally 10 seconds. We're just going to disconnect that negative right there and that one on the passenger battery. They're both 10 mils. So we're going to get those pulled off. Next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and disconnect the hot side pipe on the driver's side. It's an 11 millimeter right here. We don't need to disconnect it down below where it connects to the intercooler. We just got to go up top where it connects to the turbo, and we're going to get that pulled off and out of the way. The next thing that we're gonna do is the fuel line. You gotta get that removed to get to the injector cover right here, which is the cover. So right here, I kind of spun this one already just so I could talk about it a little bit easier. There's this safety lock here that kind of holds this together so it doesn't blow off on its own. Even though this is a pusher lock, you kind of just put the safety thing on here. So you want to go ahead and gently get that pulled off of there. You're going to need a screwdriver to kind of pry it. Make sure it doesn't shoot across wherever you're working because it will fly if you're not paying attention. Then after that, we're going to work on getting, like I said, the injector cover heat shield pulled off. There's a couple 10 mils holding this on, but once we get it off, it's pretty easy to get at. And then I didn't talk about it. I talked about it a bunch already, but on this side, the passenger side, it's 1357. On the driver's side, it's 2468. And we got to work on 8, which is all the way back there, which is kind of easier in this case because we don't have to remove all this to get to it. It's kind of just the hot side and a couple other things. So in this instance, it's easier. But let's go ahead and start getting this pulled apart. It should only take me 10 minutes to get all this out of the way. Now that we got the fuel line taken off right there, I forgot to mention you need a fuel line quick disconnect tool. You need 3/8 for the return line and 1/2 inch for the feed line. You basically just slide this in there and it pops the line off. Now that we got that off, we're working on getting the cover off, and then we're basically right there. It's not going to be that bad. Actually, number 8 is going to have a lot of space because it's just the way it is in there. Gonna have a decent amount of room. Shouldn't be that bad. So let's keep going along right here. All right, this is actually very, very interesting. I don't even know why or how this is possible, but as you can see, trying to get my flashlight set up, injector number 8's right there, and here is the connector for it, ripped out of it. I don't know how. Right here. And here is number 6 glow plug, ripped out. No idea. This wire looks all frayed and chewed. No idea how the heck that happened, unless it got caught up somehow on the steering shaft here. That's the only thing I can think of. You can kind of see that. Maybe got caught on this right here and ripped it. That's the only thing I can think of on how the heck this happened. But we're going to go ahead and get this all fixed up. The glow plug's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. But, you know, do we have to do and get this all fixed up and back on the road. Okay, so now that we got everything apart, got everything off, this is the old pigtail right here. As you can see, kind of everything got ripped out the back of it. These are the old craps I cut off with my dikes from the harness. Now, this is the new pigtail right here, directly from GM. There's the part number there for you, 19368-140. And it's a new pigtail. They give you 2, bud style connectors to crimp them together. I'm going to put some heat shrink over that, and I'm going to take my dikes and kind of cut this to length. They give you a lot of extra wire. You don't need nearly that much wire, and you don't want all that extra wire floating in there for the same case of getting it ripped out again. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all mocked up, get it trimmed to length, and then we'll start messing around with the glow plug and see what that entails. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to have to do with that. Should be able just to splice it back together and call it a day, but we'll see when we get in there. But for now, we're going to get the pigtail right here going. Now we're on to the glow plug, and here, as you can see, I already got the wires stripped. The good part is I got the piece off the glow plug right here, and it's kind of still open, so all I got to do is kind of just put the wire back in here, crimp it, put it back on the glow plug, and it's done. Now, I'm not going to replace the glow plug, obviously, because I don't think the light was on for it, because it's just this, but we'll go ahead, get this back on, and then we'll get everything reassembled, and we'll see if this fixes all our problems. Hopefully there's no other underlying problems, because the fuel light wasn't working either, and that's not a good sign. Now, I'm not sure if it's to do with both these on the same CAN bus system. There's so much stuff that's interconnected on this truck, but I'm going to take a look around, see if I see any more wires that are ripped out, and then we'll go from there on it. Okay, so now I got everything back together. As you can see, I got the new pigtail put back in right there. I left a little bit of extra wire, nothing too crazy, but if you cut it perfectly to length, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get everything worked in. You don't want to be stretching stuff either, so you want to leave a little bit of slack like I did. I got the 2 connectors put on. I also got some heat shrink put on top, right in there, as you can see, on top of the wires. And then 2 with the glow plug. Got that put back in all nicely right in there, and I also got some heat shrink. I don't know if you can see it right on there. So it looks factory. And I also retucked it back in. Also, these somehow were pulled out. As you can see, these Christmas tree style clips are supposed to be in there that kind of hold the harness. Those were ripped out. I got those back in there and kind of clean up the wiring. Hopefully it doesn't get caught in anything. I want to make sure I really tuck that shield down over all this. I'm not sure if that was off before and this wasn't put back on right and it ripped, but that shield should cover all that so the wire's not exposed. So we're gonna get the shield and everything put back in right now, get it reassembled, fire it back up, and see if that fixes all our problems. We got everything back together minus the fender liner. We still got that out. Batteries are hooked back up. Let's give it a start and see if it idles better. And let's check engine light's still on, so let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, idle's a lot better. You can hear it right now. And honestly, I think it's just that low on fuel. The track control light is off now, no lights, no codes. But the gauge moves just a hair, so this thing's definitely low. I'm gonna put some fuel in and just verify that. But other than that, we got it all wrapped up, and in here, I really tried to tuck that back. I'm still gonna try to play around with it a little bit. Let me grab my light real fast if I can find it. All right, so the reason I think this happened in the first place is, as you can see the glow plug wire right there, I think it got hooked on this from the steering shaft. So that hook right here hooked on the wire right there. So I'm gonna try to push that back. I'm not exactly entirely sure what to do with it, but I'm gonna try to secure that out of the way a little bit more. So I got it secured the best I can though, but as you can see, I kind of loosened the heat shield here. Push the wires up in there and just tighten the shield back down so they can't slide up and out. Alright, so that's about it for this video, guys. I'm glad I was able to get everything fixed up on this truck. And like I said at the beginning of the video, that's why you do your diagnosis first, to make sure you know you're not spending money on stupid stuff. This guy was ready to go out and buy an injector and all this other types of parts to get this thing fixed when it's just a couple little simple stupid things. So if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. If you like this video, be sure to leave it a big thumbs up. But until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Stop this conversation. We got no